Influencer marketing is the fastest growing marketing practice and media channel worldwide. However, nearly all marketers and agencies face the same challenges when it comes to accurately reporting and tracking their return on investment. Humanz is an app which was launched to make the process simple, seamless and transparent while offering valuable insights throughout to both marketers and the influencers. Now, the CEO, Pierre Cassuto, joins me now this morning to share a bit more insight of how this app works. A very good morning to you, Pierre, and welcome.
Good morning to you too. Thank you for having me.
It's an absolute pleasure. We've seen a rise in micro-influencers in the past. And how does one become a social media influencer in 2019 then?
Oh, that's a very good question. And I'm certainly not the best example of someone that might have become an influencer. But what we've seen a rise in a lot of people that started creating content, very valuable content. And through digital technology, they now have a platform to share that content with audiences and build their own audiences. So we've had a real democratization of media.
Okay.
And so I would say the best way to become an influencer is to know your audience and build valuable content for your audience.
So basically, for those not in the know, what do media influencers do? And how do they make a living out of it?
There's a whole category of influencers out there, and very often they're topic-based. You'll have parenting influencers, you'll have food influencers, you'll have music influencers, and sometimes they cross over multiple sectors. So we've actually classified the industry according to different categories. You'll have micro-influencers that are influential over very small categories of people, but very like in neighborhoods, communities, geographical areas. You've got topic experts, who will be like business influencers or food influencers, for example. And then you have celebrities, who very often have like a broad array of appeal and have people that follow them because they like to see what their life is like.
Yeah, and how many followers do you need to have, for you to qualify as an influencer?
So an influencer is somebody who's going to be able to get other people to think differently or to do something else, right? Or to do something different. So the real definition of an influencer is really defined by the size of the audience. We've taken a benchmark that if you have about 1,000 followers and onwards, we'll call you nano influencers. 5,000 followers onwards are micro influencers, and therefore up to millions of followers.
Right. So how does the Humanz app come into the picture then?
What we've done is we saw that there were a lot of apps out there that were marketplace apps. And those apps would have influencers register on the one end, and brands look at those influencers that had registered. But what wasn't there was an app that allowed brands to look for content creators, existing content creators that hadn't necessarily registered as influencers for influencer marketing campaign. So we've kind of reversed the entire equation, and we're letting brands find influencers across the entire internet, across an array of topics and an array of demographics.
I know there are certain brands that you are working with already. So if someone wants to do something totally different, would they be accommodated?
You mean if they wanted to reach out to a brand already?
Yes.
So that's also a possibility. It works both ways. Influencers can reach out to brands, and brands can reach out to influencers. Okay,
so far, which big names have you been working with?
From a brand's perspective?
From a brand perspective, yeah.
We've been lucky to work with some of the big agencies in South Africa, including King James and including some of the big media agencies here. And from a brand perspective, we've had a campaign with McDonald's and Unilever and a few of those other big brands.
Okay, and how do you go about getting the app? Is there a fee that you charge?
No, so for influencers, it's completely free. They can download an app on the Android App Store or the iOS App Store. They just look for Humanz with a Z and the logo that you've shown previously. For advertisers, we've got two offerings. We've got a free offering for advertisers where they can go and create a public brief, where influencers can then see that public brief and then bid on that brief. And we've got a paid offering where they can then create a private brief and get a lot more data on those influencers as well.
Okay, so how else can you get more information about this app and what it offers?
You can go on humanz.ai, that's our website, or you can go on the App Store and find the app. And here you'll see a lot of information, including a whole lot of frequently asked questions about how do I use it, how do I get a brief, how do I bid, etc., etc.
All right, Pierre, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Well, Humanz with a Z has officially been launched in South Africa and successfully carried out pilot projects with some of the largest agencies, brands and influencers locally. Now, the CEO, Pierre Cassuto, was just sharing more information on the app. Let's take a short break. We'll be right back.